kind of dovetailing on defensive line talk, Cincinnati has said that they like their skill position guys. Do you feel like you may have an advantage in the trenches with your guys in this matchup on Saturday?
I don't look at it as an advantage, so to speak. I know their front is really good, and they're experienced, they're battle tested, and they've played at a really high level for quite some time. So they've been a very consistent group of guys. So that's going to be a great challenge. And again, I said this at my radio show, and I told this to the team. This is going to be a line of scrimmage football game, both sides of the ball. They're physical, they're relentless, aggressive, confident, all those things. So it's going to be exciting, challenge. They're a top 10 team rushing the football as well. The quarterback is the second leading rusher on their team. He's a 6-year player, very experienced and, very explosive at receiver with Xavier Henderson, fantastic player, tied for, the Big 12 lead in receptions. And so they've got a three-headed monster on offense and, a defense that has had a high standard of success, over the last several years. So it'll be a very confident group, that we line up against in Cincinnati.
And Coach, when you're evaluating Emory Jones and the skill set that he brings, what is it that you're telling your defense to kind of prepare for what he's going to bring on the field when you all get out there?
Well, again, he's an older guy that's played a lot of football, so he's seen a lot. And I think, whether it's how you're rushing a passer or how you're playing the mesh game, I think it's important that you better be fundamentally sound in everything that you're doing, because this is a guy that can beat you, both with his feet, and his arm. So he's got really good weapons to surround him, to help him be a good player. Like all good offenses and good players, you're usually a benefactor of having other good players around you. And so very dynamic. He can throw the ball a country mile, and he can pull it down and take it the distance at any time. So a really dangerous player, and but at the same time you got to stay within your scheme and your philosophy, and but we got a great challenge. There's no doubt about it. The things that he can do and headaches that he can cause, his ability to improvise is a tough thing to simulate.
Coach, how do you prepare your players for this test that's coming up? It's a true road game against an opponent that's talented, and they're going to be fired up. It's their first game in a new conference.
Yeah, well, again, they've lost 2 times in 5 years. One of the 2 times was last week. So that's a team that's used to winning. Again, they have high standards, when they play at home or they play on the road. But it's going to be, a great atmosphere. They got a strong culture, great belief system. Those players, expect success. And again, they had a tough loss in overtime. They're play, away from winning the game. So I'm sure they've got great perspective. They haven't lost their mind through a little adversity. And, they'll be ready to compete. And so we got to focus on us having a great week of practice. That's how we'll gain confidence, getting on the airplane, going to their place. But make no mistake, it's going to be a really strong challenge. Again, they've had plenty of really good teams come to their place the last 5 years and not have success. So we got to find a way to have the kind of success we need in order to give ourselves a chance to be successful.
Coach, you said this will be line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They have 10 sacks through their first 3 games. So what challenge does that defensive line give to your offensive line, who's only given up 1 sack?
Yeah, again, they got really good players. They're big, they're strong, they're physical, and again, they're relentless. Love the way they play. Just as a admirer of good football, those guys get it done. And so, again, it's going to be a challenge mentally, physically, 4 hours of challenge. And they've had great success at putting pressure on the quarterback. Some of it relates to the sacks, and some of it's just pressure, and disruption in the run game. And so, they're going to make some of their plays. That's just part of the game. You're not going to keep them from, making some plays, and you just got to keep them at a minimum. And this is a game of matchups, and this is not a game of potential, and this is not a game of talking. We're going to have to be doing it. And great opportunity for our guys. One that I know they're going to look forward to.